Hello, thank you for having me today, and thank you everyone for being with us.
Thank you. You can start now with your presentation. Everyone enjoy.
Thank you. As the moderator presented me, today I'm going to present for you the importance of sports to the kids with autism spectrum disorder. We as human beings, we have 4 areas of development: physical activity, social aspect, emotional, and intellectual aspect. And autism spectrum disorder affects all these fields. Motor development is one of the fields that is very important when it comes to the human body. The phases of the motor developments on the left side, you can see is the ages, periods of development, which includes from 4 months until 14 years. And on the right side, you can see the stages of the motor development, which includes from information encoding to until the lifelong utilization. For example, from 4 months until 1 year old, we have the reflexive movement phase, which includes the information decoding and encoding stage. And then we have, let's say, from 2 years until 7 years, where is the fundamental movement phase, which includes initial, elementary, and mature stage. And then from 7 to 14 years old, which includes transition stage, application, and lifelong utilizations. All these phases of developments are very important for daily living, recreational, and lifelong competitive utilization. The motor planning is very important for the development. These 3 fields, motor planning, motor control, and motor coordinations, are very important for us to understand what is going on in our kid's body, actually in our body in general. One person who is having problems with motor planning will also have problems with motor control and will miss the building blocks for motor coordinations. Motor planning is one of the fields which is touched from autism spectrum disorder, is the ability to plan the steps for us to finish one task. Let's say for the kids, it's important to know that before putting the socks, they have to know that this comes before putting the shoes, and then putting the shoe on the right leg. And then we have the motor control, which this includes which steps come. The motor control includes which body muscles we need to use for a specific actions, and this motor control affects gross motor skills and fine motor skills. The persons who will have problem with motor control, they will have problems with catching the pencil, also pushing the pedals of the bike. And who has motor control coordination, motor control problems will have also problems with motor coordination. On the motor coordinations are included the muscles, the coordinations of the muscles for us to finish one actions. Let's say we can take as example a basketball game. For example, for dribbling the ball, you need to use the hands, but also while you are moving the feet on the field. So you need also this, you need to have this ability in order to play a basketball game on this case. For the kids for us, or for the kids who are typically developed, they have an inner drive to move, explore, and try new things, which for kids with autism, this doesn't occur. They like the routine. They like to stay on the same activity for long and do it all over again. For kids that are typical, or for us that are typical, they need to they have the need to master each challenges and to feel successful, to feel the success, and this success will give them confidence and try to increase, and will give us the need to increasingly go for more difficult motor challenges. The first time that we learn something, or we learn a new skill, or we take an experience, with practice, we integrate the sensory and motor informations that are needed for success. And this movement, with the time, it's going to become automatic. The more a child is going to practice the motor movement skills, the better these skills is going to become. Motor skills are developed by solving challenges with body. For example, climbing into a car seat, going down the slide, or walking up the stairs. When the skills do not develop naturally, a child may avoid movement and these kind of activities. To children with ASD, there have been found to have difficulties and delays in gross and fine motor skills, as we mentioned earlier. They will have problems with postural control, balance and coordination, motor control, motor imitation, and motor planning. They won't be able to, they can get the spoon to the mouth without spilling it. They hold the object too loosely, or that is difficult to use, or they will hold them too tight that again it's difficult to use. They will have problems to dress themselves. Also they will have problems to climb into a car seat. And they will show poor coordination, and they will appear to be clumsy. They will have problems to coming up with new ideas during a play game. They will have low self-esteem and deficiencies in moving directly to a target. Will have become confused about the sequences of an action and fails to complete the text with multiple steps. You could see this, let's say, if we go into their situation, into their bodies or into their conditions, and if we see it from our side, then we can see in this condition, we don't know how this is going to feel. But if we would go into their skill, it would be like when we see one obstacles coming toward us, and we cannot, and we don't know what we should do to avoid that, or how to move from that. Or let's say you are sitting in one ice cube, and then by the time that you are sitting, you are losing the sense, and you are falling each time from it, and you don't know that you should stand up and move from it. Or if when you were little, if you were trying younger, if you tried ever to create these cups from the paper, and then you fill them with the water, and if you tried to drink them, sometimes you didn't know how tight you have to catch it because it would fall, or how loosely you should catch it, and again the water was going out. So this is the same what they are experiencing. These troubles can show at any form to them. They will have problems like planning and organizing what the body needs to do, what sequences needs to be done in order to complete one action, and they will have a hard time, let's say, even to remember let's say when they finished one activity, what they that activity or the results were. Let's say if the results were bad, to try to do this activity on a different way in order to gain different results, and they will go over and over, repeat the same activity, but they won't have the motor control, the motor planning, and the motor coordination functioning in order for them to gain different results. Have you ever, or I guess you have heard parents saying that my child is having selective hearing, or he knows to do these things, but he is not doing anymore. He knows to do, he just doesn't want to do. Children diagnosed with autism may seem that they are ignoring the directions that are given to them, or they just don't want to listen to you. Actually, it's not that they don't want, or that they choose on that way. Mostly they try to escape these things because this is difficult for them, and actually they did not understand what you are requiring from them to do, and then they look like they are ignoring and they are escaping the task that you are giving, even though this task for you may seem very simple for you. For them it can be very difficult. The motor development throughout the sports, when this motor development, these blocks are not together on the phases before that they should have been developed, then we face problems when we want to send to our kid into a sport, let's say swimming, football, etc. And then the parents want know that their kid is having one motor problems, that's why he is not being successful to one sport, and then they put the kid in the wrong sport, and then the kid is showing difficulties and he is showing behaviors, he doesn't want to go, and then the parents see that they are maybe the kid just doesn't like the sports, and then they choose to lose the kids from physical activities, and then because by assuming that he is not good at them. Because the kids are having difficulties on the sports, difficulties on the motor areas, the sports can be challenging for them. The sports can be challenging because of poor and fine motor skills. They can be difficult because of the sensory feedback that they may have, limited past success in sports, and negative feedbacks by their peers. These skills are essential to everyday functioning and also to engagement in regular health-related physical activities and sports. A lot of the research has shown that early intervention is the key of the success in order to make the kids succeed and have a development in motor areas on time. But if this, let's say the kid doesn't have these areas, that doesn't mean that now it's too late to work on them. Actually, it's never too late to start and to work on the difficulties that they are having. But they need the help of a team which is created by the parents, teachers, sport tutors, and their personal therapists that they have. As I said before, let's say the kids will have difficulties in, let's say, catching out the ball, running, swimming, and throwing. And let's say parents are going to send them to swim, but the kid doesn't want to swim, and the parent doesn't know that he cannot swim because let's say he is scared to touch the water, or he is scared from his feet that his feet doesn't touch the ground, and then the parents they just think that probably he just doesn't want this, and then they just put him out of it and they never try it again. And here is the part when the kid is actually limited by the by the circle, not because of his abilities, because no one tried to assess him, or no one assessed his skills in order to put him on something that he is good at. Let's say when the kid is cannot swim, or he is scared from the water, you can actually put him into another sport. Let's say he cannot swim, but he can run fast, and then you just try where is his strength, and then you can put him into, let's say, athletics, and he will be good at it, and then he will enjoy it. When we select a sport for a student with autism, we have to consider the level of his social competencies that are required to achieve and to be involved in that sport. We have to focus on cooperation with them and awareness between the peers, and we have to use charts, data. We should not assume that the kid knows these things. We have to explain them from the beginning and as simple as possible for them, in order for them to understand, in order for him to understand what is required from him. The fundamental skills needs practice, and they need to practice them every day in order for them to be developed. What should we do? Let's say we select now the sports, and what we have to do. Let's say we choose the sport, the kid has strength, as I said, on the running is his strength point, and we choose athletics. What we should do? We should allow him time for familiarity. We should promote and use a clear language appropriate for communication modality. We have to be aware for his sensory preferences or over selectivity. Balancing social skills, we have to use evidence-based practices. In this case, applied behavior analysis. We have to use prompts, we have to use video modeling, and to use the digital technology. Everything that could be everything that is evidence-based is the best tool that you could use with these kids. Lately, by knowing that the electronic approach is the most used these times, we could use, let's say, video demonstration, voice instructions, written checklist, visual schedule, recording workbooks, and step-by-step programs, and creating different schedules. The best is if we use, as we know, kids with autism have, most of them, their strongest skills are visuals, and if we could combine visual and verbal, we could help them best to understand what they need to do. So from all this, we understand that if you show them, they can remember. If we involve them, then they can understand. Thank you. But until I get someone until I get the moderator, I would like to tell you, let's say, what we are doing on the here to us in Pristina, in our center. We have different type of kids from the age. I mean, let's say we have from 3 years until to 16 years old. We have a special time that we set up mostly. We take these kids, we assess on the beginning. Mostly we assess through ABLs, and then we check which skills they are missing, and then on what level they are, and then based on the level that they are having and the skills that they are missing, let's say, then we are creating a program which is daily program, and then on that program we are putting, let's say, the priorities, what is priority for the kid, and what is on which stage the kid is right now, and then we are putting the skills that he needs to learn, and then we are creating mostly visual schedules, and then we teach the kids through physical activities to let's say we are putting a visual schedule, and then we have one activity. Let's say we create a polygon, which is competitive mostly, but on the end. But on the beginning, we teach these skills one by one. Let's say climbing, jumping, running, and then we increase the level. For let's say for the jumping, we put first on the 2 cones. On the first level, we put the kid on the first level. First, he needs only to jump on the place, and then with 2 feet together. And then when he learns to jump with 2 feet together, then we learn him to jump in front with 2 feet, and then with 2 feet spread, and with 2 legs spread, and then into the level, first level, second level, third level, until the kid achieves the goal when he can pass an obstacle by jumping. It looks like, oh, she's here.
Ardita, thank you so much for this great presentation. I really enjoyed it. It's so dynamic since I am sports active person, and I know how this is important for all of us, not just for kids and children. I have one question.
Yes.
How much time do you need to learn any child to go forward? I mean, to learn any more skill, you know, because you said that they feel more comfortable and safer if they all the time repeat something they already have learned.
Yes. As I said before, let's say first you have to assess the kid on what level he is for the moment, and then for how much time he needs for him to learn one skill. We don't have, let's say, we don't set up a time in a week he is going to learn these skills, or in 1 month he's going to learn these skills, because every kid is individual, and this is dependent only by the kid. But we can set up, let's say, goals, what we want to do. First, we want him to jump on the place, then we want him to jump forward, then we want him to jump the obstacle. On this way we can set up what goals we want to achieve, but on the timely manner we cannot decide. For that, this only is depending on the child, how fast the child he learns, is he cooperative, and all these skills, how often he is doing the sessions and everything, the intensity of the therapy and everything. It should come together, and then in order for him to complete the goal.
Thank you. That was my second question, but you already said that you have individual approach to each child. So yes. I would ask just one more thing. You also mentioned that you give support to parents to help them to decide which sport activity is better for their child. Some of them are maybe better in individual sports, and some of them maybe sports like football or I don't know, hockey, because they have better social intelligence. Yes. Right?
Yes. Yes, in our center we mostly most parents we say to them, put them into the sports. He needs physical activity. It doesn't have to be sport. He can go on the playground just to go and do a physical activity. We have one parent, let's say, that she takes literally whatever we say. And on the beginning, the kid was, when he came to us, he was 8 years old. And now the kid is 11 years old. And actually, he tried at least 10 disciplines of the sports, and he is doing all of them. But he came on the end and he said to the mom, Mom, I'm doing tennis, I'm doing football, I'm doing this, but I would like to go on basketball. And he is trying all these things, and then on the end he find out on what he likes, and now he is playing basketball. But
Great.
Mostly we encourage all the parents to go on the sports and physical activities.
Thank you so much for being with us today. I think that we are waiting now for our next speaker. So thank you once again.
Thank you too. Good luck.
Good luck.